Uh-oh. I am here early and I didn't mean to be. Oh well. Um, Good grief. Y'all are Johnny on the spot. Um, I need to do a few things before I come on. So y'all just chat or get something ready to work with me together on. Okay. Okay. I hit the wrong button at the wrong time. I have forgotten a password that I need. You know what? Oh no, I'm in Chrome. Never mind. Never mind. I'm in Chrome. Alrighty. We are early. Let me see who's going on here. I think I'm ready. I think I am. I think I am. Uh-oh. Poppy's home. Let me shut my door. He's been gone all winter in the snowbanks of downtown Bentonville, and we've got to welcome him home. Actually, he's been gone for 30 minutes. Aunt Beck and Wendy and Christine, Lisa, Joycey, Jeannie, or Jean, I'm not sure which it is. Alrighty. So what y'all been up to? Hey, Bernadette. Jeannie. Okay. I'll remember that easier. I cheated a little bit last week after we got off air. Maybe it was Friday. It was Friday. I worked on a little watercolor of our white rose. Hey, Beth. I'm running a flash sale till the end of June on the Ideal Art and Peace system that I teach. It's as all classes are these days, it's a learn as you go. Probably has, well, the poop for it's on the page. If you do it step by step by step, it'll probably take 90 days. So there is a buttload of information in it, and I would love to have y'all join. And I'm also creating a page on my website for art to be purchased because I am overflowing with it. So there's my two announcements. The coupon code is in the top of the chat. I'll also make sure that it's in the description. Net cost on it then would be $320. And you have to try copy and paste it, Jeanette. First link. I didn't put the class in. .ly. These links in the chat are kind of iffy. Hey, Gail. But I teach you the how to paint, not the what to paint. I do give you an introduction to the 4 main mediums, and you have to promise if you buy it without the kit that you will use artist quality materials. And you can talk to me about that. I think y'all know pretty much what that means. But what I teach you is the theory, the art elements, the basics of what makes something turn, what makes this petal turn back. How do you do that? How do you replicate it when you want to do it for yourself? Form, shape, color. We spend a lot of time on color. That's a biggie for me. And I teach you how you can get by with just a limited palette. So, I welcome any contact. You can PM me. You can holler at me. You can put the coffee can up to your mouth and talk to a string. I am here. So we have we've had fun with our white rose. This is the oil version. Let me pull this up just a hair. That's where I want it to be. There. I filmed myself painting. Oh, this is the oil version, I should say. Stay on track. Turn the light off. And this is just the stuff that was left on the palette the other day when we got finished. And I just smeared it on there. Made a circle, which is one of the divine elements that you see everywhere. I can come back on this and paint on top of it or not, or, you know, it's just, you don't want to waste any paint. So this is still a little bit tacky because we've had a lot of weather, but I'm pleased with the way it turned out. See the impasto with the thick white? That's one of the things I love about oil. Come on, focus. So there's that one. Oops, I just touched. And the pastel one. Now remember, what we're doing here is we're looking at the idiosyncrasies of each of these mediums. So for the oil, the idiosyncrasy is that it is, you can apply it thickly. You can mix colors to get exactly the one that you want. Pastel's idiosyncrasy is that you can layer colors to get the color you want. So I may have 10 or 12 colors under here, but you only see it peek through every once in a while. So that is the idiosyncrasy of pastel. And a lot of times they look like a train wreck up close, but I just wanted you to see the stroke differences. We did gouache. And gouache is a bird all its own. It's opaque. It's water liftable. I mean, mixable. So you can lift up. I could come in here right now and soften this if I wanted to. But that's the idiosyncrasy of gouache. I can continue to work on this forever, just like I would with oil or pastel for that matter. So you're the one, you're the artist, you decide when it's done. And here's the other version of the gouache. And this one picked up some shiny, which could be because of the panel that I put it on, which was an oil glaze. There you can see it flash right there. It's an oil glazed linen, which could affect what the rose looks like. So each one is total. Oh, and then here's the watercolor. Each one is totally different. I don't worry about watermarking my stuff at all. Most online galleries and stuff like that, if you watermark the front of your piece, they won't even bother to display it because it's, for one thing, it's not effective. For another thing, it's so easy to get around it. I can get around a watermark in about 5 minutes. So it's really not worth your time, and it keeps people from seeing your art. But we've got so many different versions of the same rose. And I just think that's cool. And it's me doing it. So you would think that I could at least duplicate. I've got it flashing, some kind of a light is flashing on me. Woohoo, woohoo. There. So do you have a favorite? Put that under there. And there. And there. And there. All right. Jenny, did you get the link to work? Copy and paste it if you have to. The school code, though, is in the description, and I know that one works. But I teach you how to paint. I don't teach you what to paint. And even after you take this class, you'll still need to do your million miles of paper canvas covering with some kind of color. It does not come automatically, and there's not a class in the world that will give it to you. You've got to do the work. So I'll teach you what that is. It took me 10 years to figure out that these are the basics that everybody kept telling me about. The teachers that I encountered and the professional artists, well, you need to do the basics. I said, I don't even know what they are. So I couldn't find it all in one place. So this is an amalgamation of everything that I learned that made sense to me. So there you go. And a little watercolor. This one's kind of a la Jean Haynes. If y'all aren't familiar with her, she is an English artist. She has several books out, a couple of Kindle books. Some of her books are in Kindle version. They're done by Northlight, which is an American English company. But anyway, she likes to put dark colors down and just let them mix on their own. And I got more variation in this right here. Just put the color down and let it move. Now, I did not use a hairdryer because when you use a hairdryer on these, let's call them designer watercolors, where they mix and mingle, you won't get that with ink-based watercolors. But with artist quality, and these are Daniel Smith, you'll get granulation and you'll get mixing that you didn't even know how it got there. Like this gray, I don't know which of the colors made it. It just made on its own. And you get these beautiful marks that you can't really get on purpose. This is pretty passage up here. I haven't even finished her last book yet. I like Kindle books, but they're too easy to, if you can't see it, you're not going to do it. But they're less expensive and they're so much better for storage. I've got all the books I can hold in this little place. What is the one in the top? Oh, shoot. I don't know. I can put them back up there. Okay, here are your two watercolors. I don't think it was either of those. This is gouache. This is gouache. This is pastel. And then the oil. So I think probably it was one of the pastels. I mean, the lights are wonderful, but boy, they sure make it hard to see. So you think it was one of the gouaches? I'm joking. It's not really gouache. There you go. Okay, I think I've said hello to everybody. Left gouache, this one on the oil panel, and that was the first one. So you can see how many variations you can get. Oh, I think it was one of the gouaches, Gail. Was it one of these? Boy, everybody's been buffering today. I haven't been, knock on wood. The one on the right is gouache. This is gouache on watercolor paper. I'm going to clean up the backgrounds on these, put another coat of gouache on, and anything that I think would really improve it. At this point, sometimes you're better off to leave it alone because you can ruin one when you're trying to, you know, nitpick it. But I will coat the backgrounds again, and I'll sign them, and then I'm going to put them in my shop on my Axully site, Axully. Yeah, this one's pretty. I agree. It's fresh and yellow. Each has its own distinction. Okay, let's move on. Why am I still picking up? It's that one. See if this one does it. That's better. It's yellower, but it's better, I think. Now I've painted this, what, 5 times? And the advantage to that is that it forces you to almost draw from memory because you've done it so many times looking at the picture. Let's get this little small one for a pattern. I like the way it's almost heart-shaped. And then I found myself on this one trying to figure out how to simplify it. What can I paint to make it a rose, but use George O'Keeffe, okay? What can I take out and make it still look like a rose? So that was my thought on this. Watercolor is so interesting because you have to play in your white space, and I ended up having to use some gouache on this, which is not illegal. There are competitions out there for water media, and gouache is a water media. I know lots of professionals that use gouache, and they have it in their watercolor kit all the time. However, sometimes you try to leave it. I think I said in somebody's feed yesterday that I don't like Frisket because if I had Frisketed these, this would be the hardest edge in the world and it'll stand out. So then what you have to do is come back into that and try to wet this purple just enough to make it softer. And see, here's a soft example. So Frisket won't allow you to do that. Frisket gives you just white in your face without any variation. And we've got white with a little bit of variation in some of these areas. So again, nothing wrong with using it. It's just my personal preference. Any questions on that? Merlin's right on schedule, isn't he, Gail? I am fixing to make a mess. Just for fun. Oh, I gotta tell y'all what I did. I'm bad. I ordered the rest of my green leaf blueberry paints. And blue, gold, green, green, and purple, and blue, another blue, and blue, gray ochre, and green. And then these over here, the magnets had come off for some reason, so I've got another blue and a yellow. Can't read that one. This is a reddish color, white. Anyway, I'm letting these set up real good before I put them back on the magnet. These are my Pfeffer handmaids. And you can find these on Etsy. I started collecting hers about 2 years ago. Now everybody's into it. And all I can tell you is be real careful before you buy handmaids from somebody you don't know, because there is a science to it. And these two companies seem to have that down pat. Here are my green leaves. This little company actually makes theirs, some of theirs from real rocks they pick up. Not all of them, but some of them. And so these are going to be very organic. You're not going to see any of your bright quinacridone colors. These are more muted, more natural. So I've got the color chart for this somewhere over the rainbow. I don't see it easily, but I've got one. So let me put that on here. Petit F-E-I F-F-E-R. Now, green leaf. Blueberry. I got a period in there I don't need. It's hard to type with your arms outstretched all the way. Handmade. Website. They used to sell through Etsy, and now they sell through their website. The reason I went ahead and got them, I'm whispering here. I don't want my Lord and Master to hear me. That's a joke. It's because for 2 years I've been trying to round out the collection, and they are out of stock. The minute they come out with some, they're gone. So when I found that those pans were there, impulse got me, and I ordered them. So that's why I need to sell some classes and sell some paintings. Oh, God, yeah, Gail, I can sing. All right. Oh, I didn't get. There's green leaf and blueberry. I do have my little swatch book. This is where I was playing with. I come up with these ideas that would be impossible for a computer to do. You'd have a million variations. If you took one yellow, lemon yellow, and mixed it with every color that you've got, it's impossible. But it kept me busy one day. But by doing this, you get an idea how the colors mix together. And you also, some of these are on Canson, some are on Strathmore, and some are on Fabriano. And they're different. The colors, the same color will react differently depending on what paper you have it on. And any of you who've played with watercolor know that there are too many variables to control. And it could be that I had these off. I may have had a little more water in this one than this one. Or it could be that I had them identical, and that is a result that you can count on. Let me find another one. Like in here, this is gorgeous. Moonlight, I'm sure, Moonglow, Daniel Smith, mixed with Winsor Newton Cad Lemon. But it is just gorgeous. And when you leave these without touching them, when they're wet, leave them alone. Then you come back to these marks that you would never be able to make. I know I've shown this to y'all before. And I think these are the, yeah, these are the Mayan, not Mayan, green leaf blueberry. These are Daniel Smith's. That's a pretty one. Sugarlight. I'm not a geologist any more than I can sing. And here's the rest of that first batch of green leaf blueberry. Here's where I was playing with Mind of Watercolor on YouTube. His favorite limited palette is this. And it may work for him. It does not work for me. I'm not into these baby poop colors, which is what you get with this green gold. I think that's what it is. Yeah, green gold. This is a very pretty color. And I could use skin tones from here. That would mix beautifully with this and the yellow and the blue. That'd be a beautiful skin tone palette. Here I'm just playing with just those colors. Because unless you play with them, you're really not going to know what they do. See if I've got one that uses those three. Looking for red, yellow, blue. This is kind of it. The red, the blue, and the yellow, and that olivey green is what those two mix. Like I said, you can do this forever. I think that's all I've got. I must not have swatched the Pfeiffers. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do that. Because I really kind of need to know what I'm getting ready to work with here. It may take forever to get these wet. I've been watching some of my real arty painting instructors that I enjoy and know personally. I've been watching some of theirs. You know, it just makes me tense because I want to do it all. I want to do everything. And you can't. There's no way. I should probably put these right here. Okay. Draw that off. I wonder if Leonardo and those guys that were so prolific, Michelangelo, I wonder if they ever felt like they didn't have enough time. I'm going to use this little silver brush. I got it out the other day. Not silver. It's a silver brush, but this is by SAA in England. It is their number 6, and it was somebody's set. It had a man's name on it, and it was a good set. Inexpensive. I think it was around $50 for 6. And I needed another set of Workhorse brushes like this one. I've been using these for 20 years. And you can see where I've scrubbed and the bristles don't go up all the way to the top anymore. But it works great for some things when you don't want to abuse a natural hairbrush. And this is called, she names hers after birds, I do believe. And that one doesn't have one. Willow. And it's white, but no need in putting that on there. Okay, so let's go into red. Let's go into the orangey red. And y'all know how I feel about colors that don't have pigment names listed. Like what raw pigment was used to build that color. But sometimes you just can't stand it because it's such a pretty mixed color or whatever's in it. And here's the cool red. And purple. And then we're going to go into green. And that's a blue. Okay. Green. Yeah, that's a blue. Green. Let's do this one. Can y'all believe I am still snoggy after 2 weeks? There are the three. What is this one? I don't know what that one is. I'm going to say it's an earth color. A bunch of blues. Kind of with phthalo there. Oh, an ultramarine. I've used that one, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is kind of a neutral tint. And then let's go with this one. That's pretty. Kind of a brick red. Kind of an ochre. Yellow ochre. So there we have it. E-F-E-I-F-F. E-R. Ah, God, that's cracked me up. Okay, so pretty colors. Please do your research. And by that, I mean go to Google and say, review Pfeffer watercolor, handmade watercolor, and you will find some folks that have some good information who have used it, folks that may be a little bit better with the chemistry, or somebody that's done some light fast tests, and find those and read them before you buy anything. Don't take it on my word or somebody else's word that we know. Because I'll be quite honest with you, what I say to you is what I like. It's what I like. It doesn't necessarily mean it's based on hello, that it's based on factual analysis. There you go. Because I'm not a chemist. I was kind of thinking about using that on this flower, or I could use this one, these. Except I've got more of those now I don't have in here. All right. Now that may cause a problem, because I dropped the phone down in the hole. Where did you go? Which way did you go? Hang on, let me see if I can. Hang on, Snoopy. Well, guess I'll have to use my iPad. I'm gonna have to get some serious stuff moved before I can find the iPhone. Let me get you hooked up here. Okay. Yeah, I ran off. I'll have to find that immediately, though. Um, on the Pfeffers, I have no idea. She names hers after birds. Hey, Mary. Let's see, who are we talking about catching a class with? Jean? Oh my God! If I had a chance to take a class with Jean, I'd Tell y'all bye-bye. She is so, her personality is so low key. Her energy level is low key, and it shows in her artwork. And I'm not sure I could bring that to the table. You know, I'm not going to use those today because I dropped my phone. I am going to use, let me put these. I'm going to hope those magnets are on there good enough now that they won't pull each other off. Thinking. Oh, here are the colors I used. I'm going to stick with these. Okay. I've got a yellow, Naples yellow from Winsor Newton. That has white in it, so it's an opaque. I have Daniel Smith Pimeontite, which is the reddish color. I don't know what this is, but it is a mica. It was in here already. And this is Payne's Gray from Winsor Newton. This is Cheap Joe's Prussian. And Daniel Smith Appetite. So there's the colors. If you're going to use pans, you have to wet the pans, and then you need to move them over into something else so you can kind of get them acclimated to what you're doing. And I'm going to start with yellow. Get my squirrel mop here. And what I'm going to try to do is underpaint everything with yellow. Underpaint everything with yellow except the white, what's going to be white. And my white already has some blue in it because of the way it bled. Now just get the paint. I try not to work it with my brush. I try to lay the brush on there, put it over here in this little well. And by the way, there is a payment plan on the class. I don't think I changed it to modify, but if you want the $110 a month for 3 months, I'll have to figure that out for you. And I do sell the kit that I used for the class. When I started this concept, I really wanted everybody to use the very same materials. But then so many of you have stuff that you want to use. I mean, it's already own. Trying to get this where you can see it. And then what did I do? I just went right over that. Vicki Ross. Try to be more zen-like. And this is the Naples Yellow. Always keep an eye on your edges. You can always make one hard, but it's not always easy to go back and make one light. Okay, then I'm gonna put that brush down. I'm gonna go back to the I'm gonna get this green apatite. Obviously, I have gouache in there. Hey, Lori. Hey, Debbie. More water. Hey, Beck. Now remember that Naples Yellow is white. I mean, it's got white in it. Taking forever. Some of these natural stones from Daniel Smith take forever to get wet. Excuse me. Thanks, Mary. This is this style is my what do you call it? The big mountain everybody's dying on, not the Amazon. Everest. Yeah, this is my Everest. I need some more of that. Just keep hold of it. And it doesn't really matter when you're painting that you pick out the colors that you want to use. That what matters is that you use those few colors throughout your whole painting. That's what matters. I don't really have a good green, a good strong green, but I'm making do without it because I want the cohesiveness I get. And I'm softening this edge. That's why I said earlier that Mind of Watercolor's favorite triad or favorite limited palette would work for anything. I mean, you've got a red, yellow, and a blue. I almost let that one go too long. That one just wants to be a little leaf. We still don't, that's the bottom of the rose is what I've been doing with it, but let's use a little bit of this metallic. I don't think this is H2Os, or it would have taken forever to. Wet. Yummy, yummy. Try to leave my brush on the paper as long as I can. I think simplifying a subject is one of the harder things you can do. You don't really want. Okay, I was watching one of my. I told you I was watching some of my instructors that I know. Last night I was watching Albert Handel, and I've never taken a class from him, but I have seen him paint, and I've just never been in the same place where I could. He said that he simplifies things because he gets bored. And he said, if I get bored, it's not a good painting. So he creates things that aren't in the picture that please him. And see, I've painted this thing so many times now, I kind of know where everything's going. Ah. I'm just kind of switching back and forth through these colors because I used them in the background, so any of them will work just great. Done this once already. Put too much in that area. And I also want you guys to know that no matter how long you paint, you're going to have an Everest in your life. And that's what makes painting so valuable for so many years as you get older. Renoir painted until they had to tape the brushes to his hands. And so did Monet. I almost said it wrong. And that's dedication. And it's not that they painted just because they had accomplished their goals of being an artist. They painted because they had an idea and they didn't quite know how to execute it. And so the curiosity and the challenge of that is what kept those guys painting well past any point that an ordinary person would quit. So if you should choose to follow the painting route by going further with it, don't expect too much. I mean, don't think that you're going to just paint a picture and it's going to be worth signing and framing. You may paint 50. Before you get to that point. Putting a little bit, I think this is Payne's Gray. I got a little bit darker over here than I really wanted to. So now I'm going to darken this just a hair. The eternal challenge. And I just showed you the phenomenon of painting single rows over and over and over and over and over. And it never becomes old. I could paint it another 10 times. I'm not even looking at the painting over here now. see. I'll let that just a hair. Now drop in some of this. Painting with water. Let's see if you can do it again now. Now I'm going to stop because I like it just where it is. Where's my other watercolor? It's more simplified than this one. Totally different look. This actually comes down a little bit more like that. Doesn't matter to me if it looks like a rose or a calla lily or what. So now I'm going to get into the gouache. Y'all have any questions, put them in caps. For those of you who came in late, I've got a flash sale going on my class, $55 off through the end of June. That saves you, that puts the cost at $320. And that's all I got to say about that. And covering up something dark or covering up anything like this, you may have to go over it 2 or 3 times. know what I can do. Part of that, make this fatter. And now bring this in. See it bleeding through? That's okay. That is okay. I like this one fading off over there. Now the thicker you can, the less water you can get in your gouache without making it impasto, the better off you'll be when you're trying to cover something. And that's a cast shadow, so that should be okay with a hard edge. Wish I had a stronger green. Right handy, green earth. Nope. I must have accidentally rearranged these. Not getting any bang from the buck there. I'm dipping over into that pfeffer just to get a green that I like. Soften this a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put just a little bit of shadow down in here to break that up just a hair. All right, I'm declaring victory on that. 2 watercolors and a gouache, and each one is totally different. Excuse me. Y'all want to do another one? I love having this bead paper just right here at hand. My sorting system in my little cigarette box tins is really working well. Yeah, I mean, it's meant to just be a suggestion. Now let's see what we can do. like that red. Hey, Katrina. Now I'm going to sell a measure. Ooh, I didn't know that I had red in that. It's all right. Look at the neat spots we're getting though. Oh, come on, can't focus. Not gonna do it. Trying to get it where y'all can see it and I can see it. I want you to see the really cool things that happen when you let the pigment do the work or let the water do the work. I'm going to soften this edge. Let my darkest colors and my hardest edges be on this side. Oh crap, look what I did. Splattered on my gouache. To me, this is magic. Yeah, let me pan out a little bit. Come on now. Is it better? Thanks for letting me know, Azure. This is just loose watercolor. Azure, it depends on what mood I'm in. You get softer lines when you do it first. If we have time in a minute, we'll try one the other way. I don't mind. Let's switch brushes. All right, we can work in the middle. Let me get some color ready. I hope y'all have learned to relax with your painting. I'll just get some out of your pan. Ah, wrong bucket. I'm going to use a little bit of this real lemony yellow. Now, when you're in this kind of a prep time, do it slow. Feel the bristles go across the color. Be mindful of what you're doing. And remember that it's just a process. See, I wanted red in there. Whoops. And you should enjoy it. And the master teaches what she most needs to learn. We were talking about Jean Haines' low energy voice, and her voice is so soothing. And so her paintings are soothing. Her cadence is slow. I'm trying to get some green going here. Everybody good? I don't want to waste what's on my brush here. So I'm going to just put it down right there. Take a deep breath. Remember to soften your edges. My mantra is stir with love. And in French, mélanger avec amour. So that means enjoy the moment. Not looking at the painting or the picture. Y'all still there? This one's kind of weird. But you never know until you try. Now it's time for some gouache. What everybody's saying. Maybe we can tame it back into behaving. That's paper white. I did a pretty good job leaving my paper. Well, I need to do this more often myself. If I let it dry. And quit while you're ahead. Ta-da! Done. Done as much as I'm going to do with it. So, again, such a different look each time it's painted. We got a purplish cast here in the shadows. Over here, mostly blue. We've got a little bit of the reddish here. That one's, I think, the weirdest of all three. But it is for fun, okay? It is for practice. It is for adding to your million miles of million. It changes every time I say it. 100 miles of canvas, they say. And you'll be an artist. Alrighty. I think I'm done. I started early. Y'all made me do it. I do like some Jean Haynes, though. And that's all she does. She says just sit down and, with some paper and splash paint on it and put it in the bin if you have to. I'm as bad as the next. I think that every painting ought to be perfect. And sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. I kind of like the stem on this one. Just kind of hint of a stem. And just think about how many colors we have at our disposal. And all you have to do is pick 5 or 6 of them and go to town. Okie dokie, guys. I am so glad you came to see me today and visited my house. It is, Gail. And artists, we are always our worst critics. Looking at it through the screen on my iPad, I'm happy. Happy with my afternoon's work. Okie dokie. Over and out. Love you guys. Don't forget your coupon code. $55 off. You can pay for it in 3 months and take my class and learn what makes things turn. Okay. Bye, guys.